change the strategy of the EU towards Ukraine, because it seems that, in his view, we don't manage to have enough weapons for the Ukraine to protect it.
Well, we just had 30 seconds to gossip a bit, but not about these subjects. No, let me just say what is on my mind today. First of all, of course, I want to congratulate again President Trump upon his re-election. It was really a huge success for him, including capturing the House and the Senate. I look forward to work with him again. When he was president, he was the one in NATO who stimulated us to move over the 2%. And now, also thanks to him, NATO, if you take out the numbers of the US for a moment, is above the 2%. And I think very much that is his doing, his success, and we need to do more. We know this. Today, very much on my mind in this meeting is what is happening now with North Koreans being deployed in Russia. And what we see more and more is that North Korea, Iran, China, and of course Russia are working together. Against Ukraine. But at the same time, Russia has to pay for this. And one of the things they are doing is delivering technology to North Korea, which is now threatening in the future the mainland of the US, continental Europe, but also our partners in the Indo-Pacific. Japan, for example, and the Republic of Korea. So these are really dangerous new developments, and we need to discuss that today, but I also look forward to sit down with President Trump and to navigate how collectively we'll make sure that we face this threat and that we keep our part of the world safe.
You've been called the Trump whisperer. What do you say to those in Europe that maybe fear Donald Trump?
Well, the people of the United States have now elected him. He is the president. I worked very well with him for 4 years. He is extremely clear about what he wants. He understands that you have to deal with each other, to come to joint positions, and I think we can do that.
Can Europe support Ukraine alone if the US pulls the plug on its support?
You know, the thing is this: if Russia would be successful in Ukraine, you would have an emboldened Russia at our border, having gained landmass, having gained a huge defense force of Ukraine, but also the ingenuity of the Ukrainian people. So that will be a threat not only to Europe, European part of NATO, but also to the United States. And that's why collectively we have to work not only the threat of Russia, but also the fact that these 4 countries work together, and that now very soon we will see that also the US itself is under threat from these newest technological developments, thanks to Russia giving its latest insights and technology to the North Koreans.
One word on Germany. Are you worried about the political situation? We as Germans are worried that we're in a huge instability now.
I'm sure that when it comes to defense, when it comes to foreign policy, that Germany will be able to conduct its foreign policy, fulfill its obligations in terms of defense, etc. So I'm not worried about that. Olaf Scholz is a strong leader. I know him very well. So I think he will navigate during the coming months, making sure that Germany plays its role at the world stage. Thank you.
General, quickly for Reuters, could you just tell us what your message will be to the leaders today, specifically on the issue you just mentioned about the role of North Korea in this war now? What do you expect from them?
This role of North Korea is basically illustrating how these countries work together. China, North Korea, Russia, and of course Iran. And this is more and more a threat not only to the European part of NATO, but also to the United States, because Russia is delivering the latest technology into North Korea in return for North Korean help with the war against Ukraine. And it is a threat not only to the European part of NATO, but also to the US mainland. And that means that in the Pacific and the Euro-Atlantic, but particularly also within NATO, US, Canada, and the European part of NATO, we have to work together. So I look forward to sit down with Donald Trump to discuss how we can face these threats collectively, what we need to do more. And yes, part of this, and here he is absolutely right, will be that on the European side of NATO we will have to spend more, do more to make sure that we reach the capability targets.
Well, you need a new target, 2.5%, 3%. He said 3% of GDP is what NATO members should be spending.
What we're currently doing, it will be much more than a 2%. I'm absolutely clear about that. Then you need to have a debate. Is this an overall target again like the 2? Or do you work from the capability targets for each of the allies, what they need to achieve? And then you might have some different percentages per country. But it is absolutely clear. He is right on this. You will not get there with the 2%.
On the loan to Ukraine, Trump said he won't support it. We don't know on the G7.
Well, I'm not going now into every policy detail, but thank you so much. See you later.